Welcome, everyone. Matthew Brownstein here, founder and lead instructor of the Institute of Interpersonal Hypnotherapy. I'm here with our lovely Christine Bergstrom, a graduate, a former student services director of our school, a full-time hypnotherapist, and I'm now one of our lead instructors at our Tampa location. So thank you for being here with me, Christine. This is our successful graduate road tour. I used to go to people's offices, but now with Zoom, I just welcome them into Zoom. So welcome, Christine, to the successful online graduate road tour.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. Want to tell us about yourself, your background, what got you into hypnotherapy, all that?
Where do I begin? It's kind of like when you start talking about this, you're like, where do I start, right? Basically, I had, a lot of dysfunction in my childhood, like many of us. And I had, a lot of issues in my teenage years and even in my 20s, went through a pretty dark time. And then, things kind of settled down, and I was actually working at a dental office, believe it or not, doing this like 9 to 5 insurance coordination position. And I'd been there for many years, and I was kind of having this, kind of like waking up to the idea of, is this it? Is there, more to life, and just really lacking meaning. And so I started going on this journey of trying to discover myself and discover what I'm supposed to be doing in this world. And that led me to many things. I was starting out on the traditional road of like counseling and psychology, have a certificate in addiction studies. And I was really thinking I wanted to go that route. And then a series of synchronicities, like it always is, kind of led me to an acquaintance who had attended this school. And at that time, I really had no idea what hypnotherapy was all about. I was just literally pulled to it. That's the only way I can describe it. And then I always joke, when I called Monica, Monica had me at hello. We had like an instant connection, and I was like, here, take my money, sign me up. And it was just incredible. From that moment forward, I kind of poured my whole heart and soul into it, and ended up having an intense spiritual awakening during the training. It completely changed my life. One session during training completely changed my life, and I literally couldn't see or perceive my world or reality in the same way. I think I emailed you, I don't know if you remember, it was after a breathwork session, and I was literally, it felt like I was on a different plane of reality, kind of experiencing things, intensified colors. I just felt this immense love for everyone. I was kind of walking up and hugging strangers, and I was like, what's happening? And you're like, welcome. So it's just been incredible. It's been an incredible journey, and there's so much more to say on that, but that's the gist of it.
Thank you. I know you could talk for hours. I get that for sure. It's so beautiful here about the spiritual awakening. I remember when you were going through the training, you were nervous, I guess might be the word, insecure about going into private practice.
Yeah.
And you and I did 2 sessions. I said, all right, like, I'll help you through this as long as we can record the sessions and put them in the school's training. And now you're part of the school's training where people get to watch me doing parts therapy on you, I believe it was. And I think regression, or maybe I forget
It
what the
was
techniques we used.
programming and regression.
Gotcha. Yeah, programming and regression. Tell us about that. What it was like to go through and feel insecure, like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, and then come out now and have a thriving private practice.
I can't even just grasp how incredible, I can't articulate how incredible it is to be able to have made that journey. Yes, I was very, very nervous, insecure, lacked confidence in not only my ability to kind of show up in the world and be everything I know I'm meant to be, but I also had like a fear of judgment. And really that was me judging myself. But yes, you graciously gifted those 2 sessions, and we kind of, put them up in the student portal. And I have students comment today, like, I cannot believe that's you. You don't even seem like the same person. And I really don't feel like the same person. Sometimes I'm like pinching myself, like, I cannot believe I made that journey, and now I get to do this for a living. It's just incredible.
It's awesome. I'm so honored to be able to have facilitated that and to see you move through. You didn't jump into private practice right away. You actually started working for the school as a student services director, which you were wonderful in that position. I know the students loved you and you cared for them so much. I wonder if you can tell anybody who's listening what it was like working in the back end, because you get to know me more as a business person than as like a spiritual teacher or hypnotherapy teacher. And then you're working, of course, with our other main teammates. What was that like for you? Because you get to know the integrity behind the scenes, or at least I'm saying there's integrity, but I wonder what it was like for you just being staff in the school.
Sure, sure. So I do just want to mention that I actually did jump into practice as soon as I graduated.
Mhm.
I wasn't, of course, seeing, tons of clients right away, but I thought it was, I was presented with the opportunity to work in student services, and I thought that was, a really good move because I wasn't seeing so many clients, and that was a way for me to be extra bonded to the school, be immersed in the content, and really grow this relationship. And so it was a wonderful experience. I absolutely loved helping the students and kind of holding their hand and making sure they felt seen and heard. And of course, it was wonderful working with you behind the scenes and the whole team. Everyone is so patient, kind, and loving, and all the things that we, emulate as a school. It was an awesome experience. I eventually, of course, became, too busy that I had to let that go. And it was, it was a little bit of a sad day
Mhm.
because I did feel that just immense love for the students and to watch them go through the whole journey and, get to be there to support them. It was a really cool thing.
Yeah, you're wonderful in that. And I know it's sad when you get those resignation emails because you're far from the first student services director, because we want somebody who's a graduate to actually be able to be there to help the students. So about every 2 years, we'll have a student services director come in. They'll be there, but they'll be a graduate and they'll say, I want to go into full-time practice now. I'm like, I know, I'm used to that. But at least it offers a way for people to transition and stay connected with the school. But it's nice to know you did open your practice right away. And then you eventually became an instructor, I guess a supervisor. You went through probably supervisor aide and then supervisor, and now you're one of our lead instructors in the Tampa location. What's that been like actually guiding students through on your own? I mean, you run classes by yourself now in our Tampa location.
I know. Again, it's crazy to think like I was sitting in your chair, full of nerves and, doubt. And now I'm standing in front of a group of students sharing this work and getting to help them, grow and experience it. And it's absolutely wonderful. I never knew that. I kind of did know I was going to be teaching when I was a little kid. I used to like pretend I was a teacher at the front of the
Mm.
classroom, but then I started to question it as I was older because I was like, I don't want to be like a school teacher. Why did I have that in me? And so now it all makes sense. But it's just awesome. And I think the students can relate to me because I am a little bit of a newer graduate. It's almost 5 years now, but it's still so fresh that it feels relatable to them. But it's awesome. It's the greatest honor.
Yeah, it's wonderful to know that I don't even have to think about it. I can, like, you're teaching there, we've got people teaching around the country and online, and I just know that anybody that we've let teach at least the practical portion of a curriculum has been very well trained. I'm glad you mentioned you have 5 years of experience, not like you just graduated and we said, oh yeah, go teach a group, especially one of our main locations. Yeah, where it's super important that we're doing a great job, but I know you're doing a great job for sure. And then tell us what it's been like being in private practice. You were saying before we started, you got a lot of word of mouth business is coming in, and I guess you're in your office there. So what's it like just being in private practice now?
Yeah, so I'd say probably more than half of all my clients are coming to me through word of mouth. So that is just the greatest honor when, someone refers all of their friends. I had like a group of friends that saw
Mm.
me and they kept coming in saying, "You're like the rock star in our little circle of friends." And then the next one would come and then the next one. And it's just amazing because I don't spend any money on marketing. If there ever comes a time when I need to have 25 clients a week, I know that I can in an instant, but
Mm.
I choose to not market. And so I see about 10 to 15 clients a week. And that's perfect for me being a mom. but yeah, it's just awesome. The other people just find me organically and look at my reviews, and I it's just perfect. It couldn't be any more perfect to wake up and to not have to answer to a boss, to know that I can take any day off, and then to be able to help people. Like, I get paid for that. It's crazy to think that, and I'm just so grateful.
Absolutely. I know when we signed on to Zoom before we started recording, I said, like, how are you? And you're like, I'm living the dream. And, I've been saying that for years as well, with the sense of financial freedom and traveling and not having to have a boss and just, charge, saying like, this is what I deserve per hour. And this is the life I want to live, and to be doing that. So we talked about your progression through being a student services, being a supervisor and a teacher, having your own private practice. Wonder if you could just kind of tell people what it's like for the deeper spiritual part of this. You said you had a spiritual awakening, there was more love, you're seeing color. I kind of remember that email, even though I do get a lot of them. Honestly, about once or twice a day, most likely, I think now. I want to be sure I'm accurate, but I would say once or twice a day, I get an email like that of people just saying, like, my Kundalini awakened, or, I feel this profound peace, this incredible love, or just, like, thank you so much for help me tap into that. That's really what it's about for me. Hypnotherapy is just a gateway to those deeper teachings that awaken us to those type of feelings. I want you to comment on what that's been like.
Sure. For me as well, that's where it's at. That's what I love about this work. Um, I do have a passion for breath work specifically. I kind of took, some extra training, and I shared with you, I didn't really need to after I finished it. I was like, you know what? I don't think I learned anything else than I learned in our training, but it gave me a little bit more confidence, I guess, to work with groups and couples. But so that does tend to create more of those spiritual experiences in my experience with clients. And that's where it's at for me. If I can help or be a part of the process of having someone wake up or remember their true essence of this eternal spiritual being, and not their physical body, not their problems, not their thoughts, not even their emotions, then there's nothing more fulfilling that I can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Doing that for a job and helping someone. And of course, getting that healing as well with every session. There's something in it for me too. So
Absolutely.
it's
Yeah,
amazing.
I've noticed that in my private practice, and I wrote that in my book, The Sutras on the Healing and Enlightenment, that the healer and the one being healed are both healed in the process of true healing. Like, even if you just program somebody with hypnosis, you're now losing weight, or you're now sleeping better. You're like, I'm taking that suggestion for myself
Right.
too.
Yeah.
More than that, like with breath work, these powerful transformational techniques, they open their hearts, maybe they're crying, but they come through when they're in a space of love and joy and peace. How can you not feel that and feel the gratitude? I know I've been on my knees at the end of the day, literally seeing maybe 5 clients a day and saying, thank you. I can't believe this is my profession. Like, I get paid to do this. It really is living the dream and not having to have a boss and whatnot. So somebody was thinking about doing this training, but they're like, I don't know if I can do it. What would you say to somebody who's like sitting on the fence?
I would just say, if you are pulled to this school or drawn in any way, it's not a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences. And if it's just, your confidence, just know that we can help you get through that. I'm living proof, if there weren't anybody else, if you saw the videos of me absolutely, shaking with nerves, and now to stand up in front of a class and teach this material, it's just an incredible journey. And if I had only gotten the personal transformation and the spiritual awakening out of the training and never did anything with the career aspect of it, it would have been well worth the time, energy, and money. And I'd do it over and over again. But it is a way for you to also make a living, and be your own boss, and do all the things we just spoke about. So I would say, don't hesitate, jump in, and we're all here to help you along the way. There's a team of such loving, caring, compassionate people ready to help you on the journey.
Right. And you're one of those now. So if people want to thank you, Christine, if people want to get in touch with you, phone number, website, how would we reach you if we want a private session?
Sure. I'm Christine Bergstrom, hypnotherapy.com. I know it's a long one. And then my office is in Largo, Florida, and they can reach me at 727-440-5311.
It's beautiful. I'm sure you don't have to worry too much about, well, you don't have to worry about clients. It comes just mostly through word of mouth. You don't have to see 25 a week to make a good living. And then I know, at least my experience has been, when you're on staff in our school, you end up getting clients just from our students, right? If you're teaching a group of students and somebody's going through something, like, Christine, can I get a session with you? And I've loved watching our graduates who are not only making money as teachers with us, but not having to advertise, because part of the client load just comes from our student base. And I'm sure it's very rewarding to get to know our students in that way and help them beyond just teaching, but really, as Danny Fox, one of our lead instructors, is to get under the hood of a person and help them to clear their blocks. So I'm sure it's been wonderfully rewarding and all around. It sounds like it. Anything else you want to share before we start to wrap up the interview?
No, just to kind of jump on what you just said, I still talk to some of my recent graduates from last year and, encourage them and offer, insight whenever they, need something. And the bonds that we've created are just, they're amazing. And it's a sad thing to, send them off into the world, but yet I know I'm like, the world needs you. Like, get out there and start helping me. Because, there's been weeks where I'm like, please don't have one more client call because I can't take anymore. So the world needs you is what I'd like to share. The world needs us. And if it's just the limiting beliefs that are preventing you from stepping into being your best, fullest self, we can help you with that. And you're needed. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you, Christine, for being part of the team, for being on the journey with us. Anybody who's watching, if you're interested in being part of something that appears to be so wonderful, please check us out at www.instituteofhypnotherapy.com. You can also check out some of my other work at onlinemonastery.com, and definitely check out Christine for private sessions, because I'm sure, as you can tell, she's wonderful. So thank you, Christine, for being here with me.
Thank you, Matthew. I appreciate it.